Hi, this is Habiba. You're on to Habiba's Canadian Journey. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe. It's very easy to do so. Today, I'm going to be talking about some healthcare worker streams in Canada targeted at internationally trained healthcare workers. So, let's get started. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to one of my subscribers. She sent me a message and she said, oh, she's an internationally trained healthcare worker and she's going to the UK. So I asked her, I said, is there a reason why you're not looking at Canada? She says, well, she doesn't think Canada has healthcare worker streams, for people who trained outside of Canada. And I told her that's not true, and I told her some of these streams are available. And one of the reasons I want to talk about it today is because I've heard a lot of people say Canada does not have streams for internationally trained healthcare workers. The truth is those streams are there. And the truth is Canada needs healthcare workers. As someone who has lived in Canada for close to 3 years right now, I can tell you right now that the Canadian healthcare system is stressed. Healthcare workers are needed. Having a young child, once in a while we find ourselves having to, call a clinic or go to the hospital or call our family doctor. I can tell you right now, Canada needs all sorts of healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, pharmacy technicians, continuing care assistants, etc. Okay, so if this is you're an internationally trained healthcare worker, you're thinking of coming to Canada, but you don't know if there's any pathway available for you, then this video might help you. And if you're thinking of coming to Canada as a healthcare worker, you want to watch this video to the end because there's some good news from the immigration minister in regards to healthcare workers that want to come and live and work in Canada. Okay, so watch this till the end. So the first stream I'm going to talk about today is the stream for the province that anytime I mention that name, my heart is beating because people are going to come after me and say, Habiba, you're not pronouncing it well. It's the International Healthcare Worker Stream for the province of Saskatchewan. Okay, now this stream is targeted at international healthcare workers and it's an expression of interest stream. It's not an application form, it's a registration. I'm going to put all the links in the description of this video. So, if you're an internationally trained healthcare worker, one of the first things you need to do is to find your exact NOC code. A lot of the times people contact me and say, oh, Habiba, I'm a nurse. And I'm like, okay, what type of nurse are you? Are you a licensed nurse? Are you a psychiatric nurse? These NOC codes are very, very important when it comes to migrating to Canada. So you need to find out your exact NOC code. Are you a pharmacist or are you a pharmacy technician? Are you a dentist or are you a dental technician? Okay. Are you a general practitioner of medicine or are you a surgeon or are you a gynecologist? It's very, very important. So for this Saskatchewan one, you fill out a registration form. Now, this registration form is you telling Saskatchewan that, listen, I have the skill and experience you might be looking for. Here are my details. You put in some of your details, you put in your NOC code. They'll ask you to upload things like your certificates, you put in your years of work experience, etc. Now, this form, once you hit submit, it goes to the province and they will go through it. They will look for people that have the skill that is needed in that province. If they see what they like, they will contact you. I recently spoke to someone who's been successful with this stream and I asked her how the process was and she said it was, simply straightforward. They needed some information, they will send her an email. When she has a question to ask, she would, send an email and they were pretty, forthcoming with her. So this is one stream as an internationally trained healthcare worker that you should consider. There's over 20 NOC codes in this stream. Occupational therapists are here, continuing care assistants are here. So please go through that. The link is going to be in the video again. So please go through it. And if you meet the criteria, create an expression of entry profile for this stream. You have nothing to lose. It's free to create this profile and you have absolutely nothing to lose. If they contact you, all well and good. If they don't, you move on to the next. The second stream, and this one is targeted at nurses, okay, is the Internationally Educated Nurses Navigation Stream, and this is for the province of New Brunswick. Again, I'm going to put the link in the description of the video. Now, this is for all types of nurses. Registered nurses, licensed nurses, psychiatric nurses, okay? It's a short form. Again, it's a registration form, not an application form, and you fill out your details. Now, the advantage of this is that New Brunswick takes all these details, okay? And if they see what they like, they'll contact you. And then if they contact you, they'll let you know how to, how to avoid barriers that internationally trained health workers usually face when they're coming to Canada. Sometimes they might, suggest that you take a bridging course, or they'll send you a link of a course or something you might need to do. But you need to fill out the form first, submit it to the province of New Brunswick, and they might contact you. Okay? Now, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. If you're an internationally trained healthcare worker, please, you need to have your express entry profile ready to go for July. We're already in the middle of June. July is around the corner. This is very important. I was talking to a couple from the Caribbean yesterday, from one of the Caribbean countries, and husband and wife, and they were so excited. They're like, Habiba, we just created our express entry profile. They're both healthcare workers in different fields. And, we've taken both exams, the French and the English, and we're just waiting for the express entry, the federal stream to reopen. They were so excited. This couple, they're in their 40s, but they had so much excitement. Their excitement was making me excited. So as international trained healthcare workers, you want to have your federal express entry profile active and ready to go. Let me tell you why. IRCC, Immigration Canada, has stated that when the federal stream opens in July, one of Canada's focus, right, is gonna be on workers that are needed in Canada. So prior to the pandemic, anytime there was an express entry draw, it was people that had the highest scores that would be successful. So regardless of your skill set, as long as you had high scores. Now, the high scores are still going to matter. But what Canada is going to do, moving a step further, is that they would concentrate on what is needed in Canada for the meantime. And I can tell you, healthcare workers are needed. Occupational therapists, psychiatrists, continuing care assistants, pharmacy assistants, pharmacists, doctors, nurses are needed. Nurses' aides, they're needed. So if you fall into any of I think the healthcare NOC codes, there's about 20 to 25. If you fall into any of them, please be working towards creating your express entry profile. Another advantage of having your express entry profile active as an internationally trained healthcare worker is that a number of provinces have their healthcare streams aligned with the express entry profile. Now, like I mentioned, some good news, okay? If you're a healthcare worker abroad, overseas, and you're thinking of coming to Canada, but sometimes you're a bit discouraged because you're like, the barriers and all is a lot, then some good news for you, okay? But before I get into that, let me share a story with you. A while back, I was talking to some friends here in Canada, immigrants as well. And we're like, we don't understand why the government doesn't do something about the healthcare system that is already stretched. Obviously, the country needs healthcare workers. Why don't they remove some barriers, to make it easier for more healthcare workers to come into the country. We were just talking, just having normal friend conversation. Now, a few days ago, I was reading the news, and Immigration Canada has stated that it is pledging over $1 million. Okay, and these funds are going to be used to reduce barriers for international healthcare workers. So what the country wants to do is to make it easier for healthcare workers to come, internationally trained healthcare workers to come and work in Canada. Now, I think that is good news, because a lot of the time what discourages healthcare workers from even thinking about coming to Canada is all the hoops they're going to have to have to jump. I was speaking to some healthcare workers a while ago, and they're like, Habiba, we're not even thinking of Canada. I have to do this exam, that exam, and this exam is too much. And I said, well, I don't blame you. Now, Canada has realized that with the fact that Canada does need healthcare workers. So they want to bridge this gap. And so these barriers, a few measures are going to be put in place to reduce these barriers and to make it easier for international healthcare workers, internationally trained healthcare workers to come, live, work, and be successful in Canada. Okay, now as I mentioned, I'm going to put all the links in the description of the video. If you're new to all this Canada, come to Canada, relocate to Canada, you don't know what the IELTS are or any of the provinces, and you want further information, you can follow me on Instagram at Biba's Canadian Journey, and you can send me a message and ask for a one-on-one session. Until next time, keep being hopeful and keep watching Biba's Canadian Journey. Thank you. Hi, my name is Habiba.